Alan, Debo, November 20th was a tough day to wake up to for most Indians, right?
Yeah.
Rohit's dream was shattered. A billion dreams were shattered. But 25th wasn't a bad day.
Yeah.
Right? A bit of revenge, can we call it that, Alan?
Yeah, absolutely.
But have we done enough is the question that many people are asking, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you knocked out Australia. Till today morning, we didn't know that we knocked out Australia. But we gave a body blow to Mitchell Marsh's side. How convincing was it, Alan? India beating Australia by a convincing margin.
I think the batting performance, there is only one name, obviously. Rohit Sharma.
Yeah.
The approach that he showed, the way that he batted. And when it came to the bowling, I think when Bumrah went for those 3 boundaries in that 1 over against Travis Head, I think everybody was scared. You could see it on social media. Everyone was like, why is Travis Head playing only against India? Yeah. But then I think Kuldeep bowled very well. Yeah. And that has been the hallmark of this campaign. We say about batting approach, the approach and all that. But the hallmark of the India's campaign has been their bowling. Yeah. Led by Bumrah, Kuldeep coming in the West Indies leg specifically for the Super 8s. Yeah. That bowling has ensured that there are certain equations that come into play, right? Yesterday, those 3 overs from Kuldeep and Akshar combined, they considered somewhere close to 15-16 runs, if I am not wrong. And they completely changed the equation. The pressure came back straight on Australia and they had to do something. Otherwise, they were going to get completely locked up. And that is what has happened. And that has happened throughout all the games. You look at Pakistan, the victory against Pakistan was the same. The victory against Bangladesh also came in the same manner. The victory against Afghanistan also came in the same manner. So, if you ask me, was it a convincing performance? Yes. To a very big extent, it was a convincing performance. And like you said, one revenge is done. Now I think we go on to the second phase of the revenge. England has already sent us a reminder early in the morning saying what happened last time.
In Adelaide in 2022.
So the reminder has already been set and we have got a date with the defending champions. Yeah. If we knock them out, I think India are clear favourites to win the title.
Devo, have you had chances to take such revenge in your life?
No, I'm letting Rohit Sharma handle that part.
But how did you enjoy that performance, Rohit Sharma? We have all been talking a lot about, Rohit Sharma wanting to change the, dynamics, DNA of this team. He started doing that probably in the 2023 World Cup more consistently. In the T20, he showed flashes of it. We were all questioning his IPL performances. He couldn't get going apart from a couple of matches. Yeah. But this is a statement, right? It is also a bit of validation is what I think, right? You've tried that in the past, even in that final, November 19 final, ODI World Cup final. You went for the aggressive mode, but you didn't kind of hold back. There were arguments that he could have held back that shot after hitting a couple of boundaries against Glenn Maxwell. But yesterday there was no stopping him.
See, that has been the case for Rohit Sharma's this Rohit Sharma intent that he showed. Like I felt that from the very beginning, Rohit Kohli took the field with a clear intent of hitting it out of the park. For Rohit it worked, for Kohli it did not work. And that was the key element, that from the very starting point that we'll set the tone. We'll set the tone and the rest of the guys you just follow. Like you see Surya came into play. Surya knew that he had to control it and Rohit was hitting it out of the park. So the entire lineup, the entire team know their roles, and which is a very commendable part about this team. And taking a highlight from that, I think whatever I'm saying, I'll say again in after the final itself. So
jinxed it already. No one asked you that.
But like you said, I think the approach thing, when you look at it, the last semi-final that we played against England, Rohit scored 27 of 28 balls. Yes. One of the clear things that he has stated, I don't know how much he has been, someone who is going after milestones per se. He has never shown that he, I want to get milestones and all that. But I think after it was the last game against, I think, Bangladesh, he was very happy that everybody did this role. Yeah. I think Rohit had a good start, 23 of 11. And everybody was like, oh, why couldn't he step it up a little more? And against Australia, against the biggest opponents possible, he stepped it up. Yeah. And he is leading the way, just like how in the ODI World Cup, which had happened,
Exactly.
he is leading the way. And somewhere in the ODI World Cup final against Australia, you could see that India, despite having that approach, having that intent, they
the
were
big matches.
showing symptoms of, drawback to their old ways, of being a little timid.
Yeah.
Oh, a wicket has fallen, so let me just, kind of consolidate things. That was a mistake that we did in the final. Here, once Virat Kohli fell, Rishabh Pant came in, he was not timing the ball well.
Yeah.
That's when Rohit said, okay, let me take the attack now because there is a Surya Kumar Yadav waiting. Surya Kumar Yadav came in, he was like, okay, now Rohit is going at the other end, let me give him support. Now, if a wicket falls, okay, there is a Shivam Dubey waiting in the wings. So that kind of a clear path that, okay, the next guy who's going to come in, he has a role to play. He will play that role. That clarity is there, because of which we are being able to adopt this approach.
And the fact that you go ahead and target someone like Mitchell Stark, you bring in Mitchell Stark as a change, as the only change, and then you target one of the most experienced bowlers in that side.
Yeah.
So that sets up a tone of confidence for the rest of the players itself. And I think that's a huge boost. That particular over, the 29-run over, I think that set the tone and that set the tempo of the game entirely.
I think this is where England will be a little wary, I think. In 2022, in that Adelaide match, I still remember, today we spoke to Paul Collingwood, who was part of the coaching staff at that in that 2022. England, he was the assistant coach of the England cricket team. So he was asked by a journalist as to could you reveal the plans when you were sitting in that dugout before the game against India, the semi-final against India. He said, we just had one plan, go and hit them hard. And we knew that if we put them to bat first, they are not going to, they are one of the greatest chasing sides ever. India in T20s, in ODIs. But when you ask them to bat first, we saw that against Pakistan in Dubai. 150 odd, chased down by 10 wickets. Same thing happened in Adelaide. 168, chased down by 10 wickets. But this Rohit Sharma's team, if you put them in, and with that kind of bowling attack, keep in mind Bumrah was not there in 2022. Bumrah didn't play that World Cup. And Bumrah factor when it comes to defending a target is huge. A psychological advantage. And I don't think India will sit and wonder and worry whether they lose this or not. If given an opportunity, I think they're going to go for, if it's a good batting track, say a decent batting track, they will target anything over 180. And I think Rohit Sharma has to be given a lot of credit for showing the way and also backing these players. So many times on our own desk, we have spoken about, okay, drop Virat Kohli, okay, drop Shivam Dubey, drop Jaddu.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Just come in and play your game. Rishabh Pant has faced criticism for the way he has played. But he has played those important knocks time and again. Yesterday again, he hung around with Rohit Sharma. There he showed some maturity. Rohit was going gaga at one end, so I'll hang around as long as I can. And Virat, the very next over of Virat's dismissal was the Stark over to Rohit Sharma. If it had been a old India, probably Rohit would have seen it off. But
exactly.
29 runs, 4 sixes in that over, that itself shows the shift in momentum, right?
And that, like how Debo pointed it out, that completely deflated the Australian team. They were not ready for probably a medicine of their own. You could say that. What Australia has done over the years is to psychologically weaken a team. Completely dismantle them from the inside, like how they did it in the ODI World Cup final. Here, Rohit Sharma took it upon himself to show that I am going to dismantle every single person that you bring in. Like probably a leg spinner that when Rohit Sharma plays timidly, he would either get out, he would have that googly coming in, he would face a lot of troubles with it. A left arm pacer, all these things. A Hazelwood, somebody he has not faced a lot. So all these things, old Rohit Sharma would have been like, very timid and all that. The current version of him, it's an updated version. I think he has also decided that it's time for me to move with times.
Exactly.
And he has decided that I'm not going to be bothered with all these things. Stats, numbers, matchups. I'm just going to whack it out of the park. So I think he decided that it was him taking on this Australian team, showing them that what revenge tastes like. And also, I think the completion of all of it was that catch of Travis Head. That was a sweet revenge, you could say.
Life comes full circle.
Life coming full circle for
probably Rohit in the Pratikaram.
Yes. That is something that I think England should be wary. Maybe maybe this time Rohit will put them into bat and he and Kohli might finish it
do
off.
it in 10 wickets. Oh,
That's what I was saying. Just like Alan pointed it out, like they both have the same intent that I will start whacking it off, and from the very first, ball, if it works good, and one or the other will work out. So that's what they're depending on, and I think the most crucial part of that intent is that they give a breathing room to the middle order. Like even if there is, they give a lot of 50-60 runs cushion to the middle order, even if they cannot, even if they take time to settle it up. So they have that much of freedom to do so.
Can we criticize Kohli for not going?
No, not really. I think one of the reasons why a lot of people have been silent with the fact is that Kohli is not, again, we see Rohit not being his old self. Here, Kohli is also not being his old self. Yes, provided he has not scored runs, we admit it. But I think in that Bangladesh game, where he did not slow down, he kept on hitting the ball. He was trying to hit the sixes. He was trying to back himself to clear the boundary. I think when he got out to Tansid also, it was trying to play a big shot. So I think he can be forgiven for that fact. Because
instead of taking 10 balls to get going,
10 balls to get like 11 runs, he is trying to get 11 runs of maybe 3 or 4 balls, which is fine. I think just like how probably Rohit did when it came to his innings against Australia, where he took it on. Maybe in the semi-final it might be Kohli's chance. And that could end up being the changing point of the game in itself. So I think he cannot be criticized with that. Obviously, I think the only person who was being leveled with criticism was Shivam Dube. I think in the last 2 games, he has also kind of shown he can hang around and he can also, kind of do things differently. So, I mean, everything, all in all, I think the biggest test was yesterday and India passed it with flying colours.
But what do you guys think of India versus England? Yes, we have spoken about revenge. Yes, we have spoken about the change in approach in the Indian side. But if you look at matchups, are England a better team than India in T20 cricket? In this form, current form?
I think that both, the clash will actually see both the batting units face off against each other. India has a lethal bowling attack with Bumrah, Arshdeep being in peak form. And while England also have their arsenal stacked up, it also comes into play that whether all the England stars can click in. If Phil Salt clicks in, if Jos Buttler clicks in, that's a big problem. All right. And on the other hand, then there is Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma. So the onus will actually be on the bowlers on how to adjust the entire flow of the game, on how to adjust the nature of the game, the tone of the game.
I think like what they both said, the matchups. I think I was having this talk with Kingshuk also last day. I was very much mesmerized by Phil Salt's how spontaneously he started to explode against West Indies. For a long period of time, he had a lull going on, and then suddenly he took apart Romario Shepherd. I think that is one area that India does lack. In terms of, apart from Suryakumar Yadav, when you look at T20I batters or their ceiling, I think England has Jos Buttler, they've got Phil Salt, they've got Johnny Bairstow, they've got Harry Brook, they've got Liam Livingstone also. There are 4, 5, 6 players.
Moeen can do that.
Even Moeen can do that. So,
exactly.
6 players who can just they can just flick a switch out of nowhere and completely deflate a bowling lineup. I think they have that in their arsenal, and that is a big thing. And obviously, a guy like Phil Salt has been doing very well in the Caribbean. He's got a very good record. Even in the IPL also, he faced off against all these guys, and he was very successful for KKR. One of the reasons why KKR went on to win the title as well. Jos Buttler showed that he's in great nick against USA, provided whatever you can say about the USA team after coming into the Caribbean. So they have that area, and that is where I feel England kind of edges past India. They play a lot more T20I games, I think, all around the globe. All their players go and play all these leagues. So the T20I experience is a little more higher. That is where I feel they will have an advantage over India. But then if the new Indian team can click like this, then it's an even matchup. That is what I mean.
As you said, I agree to the point to a certain extent, but India, as far as India have performed so far, I don't think they are looking at the opposition's lineup at all. They are looking just to the perfect goal or to the ultimate goal of winning it out in a very aggressive manner. And like their focus is fixated, and I don't think
They're both talking like that Vikram Rathore or Paras Mamre who come for these press conferences and say, okay, we are not looking at the opposition, we are looking at our own strengths. I never understood that. How can you not look at an opposition before you come to a match?
Like,
yes, you can downplay the star player. If you ask about Jos Buttler, you can say, okay, we are not worried about their strengths. But I just don't understand that question. Can you at least explain?
Like just like the approach that Rohit Sharma had against Mitchell Stark. Mitchell Stark was in
just see the ball and not the bowler.
Exactly my point. That you have your focus, your plan sorted out, and you just follow the plan. Whatever comes off in front of you, that's the secondary option. That's the secondary concern. First off, you bat out, whack it off. That's the approach.
And
you
I think
bring in Bumrah.
It's also kind of like it's kind of like mind games, right? It's kind of like chess. So I remember Gurbaz before the Afghanistan game. Gurbaz is the most informed batter this tournament. He went out and he said, my aim is not just to attack Bumrah, it's to attack the entire Indian lineup. And then you saw that Bumrah over where he fell to an absolute, probably one of the worst deliveries that I've seen Bumrah bowl. He fell to that. So that's a trick. Because you say something like that, the opposition is always going to be like, okay, I'm going to show you how I'm going to get you. I'm going to make you look like probably like a fool at the end of it. So it's kind of like mind games. So that is why I think India is not playing that mind games, trying to fall into that trap. Just say, we will look into our strengths. That is the most easiest answer that you can give.
Like we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
But if the pitch in Guyana is spin friendly, I do think India have an edge over England. Because Adil Rashid, yes, he's a world-class spinner and he's been in good form. But I don't think these Moeen Alis, these Liam Livingstons will work against India. Especially if they come up against Surya Kumar after India gets to a 60 for 1 like start, then you're going to travel.
And even Rishabh Pant.
Even Shivam Dube. If Shivam Dube clicks in, Shivam Dube clicks in, we have seen what he can do.
England need no reminder of Rishabh Pant. Ask Jack Leach. He'll tell you everything.
He'll write up a book about it.
Probably, yes.
And like how they both said, I don't think anybody in this lineup is now going to die thinking, oh, what happens?
Exactly.
Die wondering what is going to happen. Let's just see the ball, attack the person and attack the bowler. Let's not look at their reputation. So that is probably the approach that is going to be there.
And it's the fag end. It's the semi-final. I don't think all those factors will come into play.
I don't think you can carry any more baggage. This Indian team can't carry any more baggage. You've not won it for 10 years.
Exactly.
It's going to be one more year. Okay, it's okay. If you lose it, it's going to be just one more year. Just go for it is what I would think.
And even when it comes to the spin department, our spin department is way superior than
of course.
Kuldeep, Akshar, Jadeja. I mean, Jadeja has not been in the greatest of nicks, but
we all know what he's capable of. And if it's a
there
friendly
is spin
pitch,
on offer, then he will come in and obviously.
And when we addressed that Virat Kohli question, I'm reminded of the feedback that we got from Pranshu Agarwal. He wrote to the Sledging Room. He said he loves the Sledging Room and he asked us to keep our episodes a little longer. But today is not the day for us to keep it a little longer. I think we are running out of time. But quickly before we go, Alan, Devo, Afghanistan, South Africa. Where do you think that is headed? Can Afghanistan stun South Africa?
Yes.
But see, either of them winning will have a new finalist in the Men's T20 World Cup. So that's a good thing. But can Afghanistan pull it off against South Africa?
Yes.
They can.
It's in Trinidad.
I don't care about the pitch, to be very fair. Because I have not seen the South African team perform to their capabilities, to the kind of talent that they have in the lineup. You have these Andre Claessens, you have Risa Hendricks,
your captain.
Your captain. All these guys, they have not done well this tournament. I think Markram last game said that I'm all in for chasing the game early, but this was a little too early. So he himself doesn't know where this team is trying to do, what this team is trying to do. Probably the England performance was good, but the rest of it has not been great.
But now that you say that they have consistently managed to draw out results at the very fag end.
Very unlike South Africa.
That is true to an extent. But, again, like you say, that there is nothing to lose, right?
Yeah, of course.
South Africa will have that baggage with them. That always they have come into the
Crunch
semi-finals
matches,
and they have lost. Afghanistan is reaching this promised land for the first time.
Yeah.
They don't have any baggage with them. I think they don't play with any baggage.
Yeah.
Their thing is to entertain at the end of the day,
Yeah.
to play with their hearts on their sleeves. I think everybody has done that. Sometimes carry a few injuries as well. Gulbuddin was unfortunate.
That is where I was coming to. Hope Gulbuddin is fit for the semi-final.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he was struggling in the team celebrations
Yeah,
also.
exactly.
The bus
Just
was,
ran at 40 km/h.
The bus was a very lengthy ride
Sprinted
for him
400
anyway.
meters.
Faster than everybody
Yeah,
else
yeah.
also. So
Yeah, that is commendable in general.
But I don't agree with that, bashing Gulbuddin for that.
No, I
because
think-
if you are going to win,
see, there are two things. While I was covering the game, I felt bad about it. But when you look at it all around the globe, when you look at a sport like football, there is time wasting.
Of course.
There is time wasting. At that point in time, you needed to bring it out, I guess.
Yeah.
The rain would have come in, and if the game was washed out, Afghanistan would have won. If the delivery was bowled and it would have gone for a boundary, then Bangladesh would have won. They would have got knocked out.
And I don't think Australia should have any complaints regarding
Exactly. That is
tricks,
where I was,
tricks and everything.
Should pass
antics
them
and-
a box of
Yeah, I mean,
sandpaper.
tissue paper.
For their tears, I guess. So
yeah. But quickly before we go, predictions. Who are the finalists?
India versus Afghanistan.
Oh,
Want India versus Afghanistan looks like India versus South Africa.
India versus South Africa. Great.
And what about you?
had Saurabh Kingshuk been here, they would have asked me my prediction. But good that you asked it. I think it's India versus Afghanistan. South Africa don't have it in them, and Afghanistan, like he said, are charged up to get it done this time. But it's always important. We always include our viewers and listeners in our analysis. You can also send in your feedback. You can tell us whether what Gulbuddin Naib did was right or wrong. Whether he could have sprinted faster than that at that moment. And also your semi-final predictions. You can send in your feedback on 8588966996. You could also email us on pods@indiatoday.com. If you're watching us on YouTube, like we always say, please leave your comments, not abuses. We'll be open to feedback. We will love to read your comments there. And if you're listening to us on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, please do rate us. Have a great week. An exciting semi-final day is on the way. Thank you.